peace, Seti I, or Sethos I in Greek, ascended to the throne of Egypt during a time of transition and restoration. Born into the prestigious 19th dynasty of the New Kingdom, Seti inherited a nation still recovering from the turbulent reign of Akhenaten, who had disrupted Egypt's traditional religious and political structure. Seti's reign, lasting from approximately 1294 or 1290 BC to 1279 BC, would go on to shape Egypt's imperial dominance and cultural legacy. The path to greatness in Seti's era was established through three key avenues: military conquest, architectural achievement, and religious revitalization. One of Seti's primary goals was to reclaim Egypt's territories in the Levant and Nubia that had been lost during previous reigns. His military campaigns were swift and effective, securing Egypt's borders and reinstating its role as a dominant power in the ancient world. His conquests extended into Canaan, Syria, and Libya, solidifying Egypt's influence over crucial trade routes. Seti's architectural legacy is most visible in his monumental constructions. The Temple of Amun at Karnak, already a symbol of Egypt's religious grandeur, was further expanded under Seti's command. His most notable project, however, was the construction of his mortuary temple at Abydos. Abydos was not only a religious center, but a sacred site dedicated to Osiris, the god of the afterlife. Seti's temple, adorned with intricate reliefs and hieroglyphics, remains one of the most beautifully preserved works of ancient Egyptian architecture. The temple stood as a testament to Seti's devotion to the gods and his ambition to restore Egypt's cultural and spiritual order. Religious revitalization also played a central role in Seti's reign. He sought to restore the traditional pantheon of gods, which had been neglected under the monotheistic worship of Aten during Akhenaten's rule. Seti re-established the worship of Amun-Ra, Osiris, and other key deities, reinforcing the divine connection between the pharaoh and the gods, a relationship that had been strained in previous years. This religious renewal helped unify the country under a shared cultural and spiritual identity, allowing Egypt to flourish under Seti's guidance. Seti I's greatness was also secured through his capable administration. He reorganized Egypt's bureaucracy, ensuring that temples, treasuries, and trade systems ran efficiently. His reign marked the restoration of Egypt's former glory and paved the way for the subsequent reign of his son, Ramesses II, one of Egypt's most renowned pharaohs. In reflecting on Seti I's legacy, we find a model of restoration, vision, and strength. He did not just inherit a fractured kingdom, he revived its heart and soul, laying the foundation for an era of unprecedented wealth, power, and culture. The greatness of Seti I teaches us that the path to restoring greatness comes not only through conquest and expansion, but through the renewal of what is most sacred: culture, belief, and unity. Through self-knowledge, we are reminded that greatness is not given. It is earned by embracing the strength of our past, restoring the essence of what makes us whole, and forging ahead with wisdom and purpose. As Seti I embarked on his journey to restore Egypt's former glory, the challenges he faced were monumental. The empire had been weakened by years of neglect and internal division, and its prestige on the international stage had faltered. Yet where others might have seen decay, Seti saw opportunity, a chance to rebuild the very foundations of Egypt's power. Seti understood that military strength alone would not be enough to secure his legacy. His strategic mind envisioned a future where Egypt not only ruled through might, but inspired awe through culture and innovation. His campaigns into the Levant were not merely about reclaiming lost territories. They were about re-establishing Egypt as the center of the known world. Seti's victories in battle restored Egypt's influence over the lucrative trade routes that connected the Mediterranean to Africa and Asia, ensuring the kingdom's economic revival. But Seti's real genius lay in his understanding of Egypt's soul. The construction of his grand temple at Abydos was no mere act of vanity. Abydos was sacred ground, hallowed as the resting place of Osiris, the god of the underworld and resurrection. In choosing this site, Seti tied his reign directly to Egypt's most ancient and revered traditions. The walls of his temple were etched with scenes that told the story of divine kingship, the cosmic balance of Ma'at, and the journey of the soul after death. Each relief, each hieroglyph was a deliberate act of renewal, a way of stitching together Egypt's fractured spiritual fabric. This devotion to tradition extended to his revitalization of Egypt's priesthood. The powerful priesthood of Amun, weakened by Akhenaten's radical religious reforms, was once again restored to its former prominence. By restoring these ancient practices, Seti ensured that the divine favor of the gods, crucial to the pharaoh's legitimacy, was firmly on his side. In doing so, he reconnected the Egyptian people to their roots, anchoring them in the religious identity that had sustained the empire for centuries. Seti I was not content with being a ruler of the present. His actions were designed to echo through eternity. He envisioned a dynasty that would not only repair the wounds of the past, but transcend them. This vision became reality when his son, Ramesses II, known to history as Ramesses the Great, took the throne. Ramesses would build upon his father's achievements, leading Egypt into an age of even greater prosperity and power, cementing the 19th dynasty's place as one of the most illustrious in Egyptian history. As we look back on Seti I's reign, we see a ruler who understood the delicate balance between tradition and innovation, between force and diplomacy, between spiritual renewal and political strength. His greatness was not measured solely by his conquests or his constructions, but by his ability to weave together the threads of Egypt's identity, strengthening its fabric for future generations. In the story of Seti I, we are reminded that true greatness is achieved through vision and resolve, through a deep understanding of one's history and an unshakable belief in the power of renewal. Like Seti, we must look to the past not as something lost, but as a wellspring of strength from which we can draw wisdom. It is through this knowledge of who we were that we find the courage to build who we are meant to become. The echoes of Seti's reign remind us that greatness is not a gift, it is a legacy, forged in the fires of perseverance, vision, and belief in something greater than ourselves. Seti I's reign did not end with mere restoration. It set into motion a grander vision of Egyptian imperialism, cultural dominance, and spiritual continuity. What made Seti truly extraordinary was his deep foresight. He knew that the strength of a nation did not rest solely in the sword, nor in the walls of its temples, but in its people's unwavering belief in the divine order and their connection to the past. With the empire now stable, Seti turned his attention to the monumental task of solidifying his legacy in a way that would endure for millennia. His mortuary temple at Abydos was not simply a place of worship or burial. It was a bridge between the world of the living and the world of the gods. Abydos, known as the gateway to the underworld, was where the living could connect with their ancestors, and Seti knew this better than anyone. The temple itself was a masterpiece of architectural precision, designed to invoke awe and reverence for the divine. Its intricate carvings and towering columns depicted not just the greatness of the pharaoh, but the eternal relationship between Egypt's rulers and their gods. Each detail in the temple had meaning. Each scene carved into stone was a lesson in the afterlife, a symbol of the cosmic order Seti sought to protect. Seti's dedication to the ancient gods, especially Osiris and Amun, was reflected in the precision of the artwork, which communicated Egypt's beliefs about death, rebirth, and the pharaoh's role as the intermediary between earth and the divine. The walls of the temple told stories of creation, the balance of Ma'at, truth and justice, and Seti's pious offerings to the gods, making it clear that his reign was blessed by the highest powers. In his domestic policy, Seti restored Egypt's traditional values while ensuring that the temples were richly endowed, keeping the priesthood loyal and influential. His reorganization of Egypt's bureaucracy improved efficiency, securing a stable economy that allowed for great artistic and architectural projects to flourish. He reinforced the tradition of pharaohs being both warrior and builder, creating a legacy that balanced power with piety. This dual image was central to Egyptian kingship. Seti was both the protector of Egypt's lands and the guardian of its spiritual heritage. Kindly click like, subscribe and share this channel.